Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing well, and now that your CAT preparation journey has ended, and I'm hoping that you have given and scored the best of marks possible, not only in CAT but also in NMAT, because Narsi Munji has his interview process initially and very early, that too in January, February itself. So it becomes a very potential backup option for all the MBA aspirants, because you cannot deny the fact that NMIMS is among the top B schools and can actually give competition to the new generation IIMs that were established in 2010 and 2011. So with that in mind, I'm here to help you out. My name is Vaibhav Rathi. I scored 243 marks in NMAT last year, as well as I converted certain number of IIM calls, which you might have seen in my previous videos. If not, you can always check out my playlist. So today's agenda is going to be very simple. We are going to focus on Narsi Munji's interview experience, and it is very dear to me because last year was the first time when I went to Mumbai, the city of dreams. I went there for an MIMS interview, and that happened around, I think, first week of February. So it was almost as exciting as I was nervous, because this was also my first interview and I had to make sure that I convert that particular interview or give my best in this interview, because it was also going to serve as a mock interview experience for all my upcoming IIM experience. And hence I would like to share with you that there were two aspects of this interview. Number one was, of course, based on your NMAT score you were going to get a call, but a crucial part of this interview was SOP. Now what is this? Statement of purpose is something which few colleges require you to write beforehand, before the interview itself, and most of your interview is actually based on your this SOP. Now many people take this SOP writing lightly. Please take this as my number one advice in this particular video. First of all, you'll have to watch no other video if you're actually preparing for the Narsi Munji's interview experience. I'll briefly cover all the topics. So I would like you to take a pen and paper and note all these things. So as we were talking about the number one thing, which is SOP, statement of purpose. Now this is something which NMAT has a prescribed word limit and will give you beforehand to write and submit it if you get a call for the interview letter. Now, when you get this call, please ensure that you're writing your heart down in this particular SOP. And bonus tip, I'll be sharing my SOP's last paragraph as it is and how to give a better ending to your SOP in the end of the video. So please stay tuned. So, number one point is how to create the best SOP possible. So number one, in a clean sheet of paper or a two paper, write down your history, whatever you have achieved till date, your story, and this will not only help you in your NMIMS SOP or certain SOPs of certain colleges, but this will also help you draft answer for certain CV questions which will come in certain IIMs, because I'll be covering interview experience of a lot of IIMs as well, where you will see this advice coming into play. So please make sure that you are writing your heart down in these one or two papers. Now step 2 is, in this SOP, you have to frame your answer in such a way that you stuck to either 3 or 4 paragraphs. It should have a proper comprehensive introduction where you can introduce yourself in a third person manner, where you are explaining your journey and how it is taking you with relevance to the MBA. So making sure that points such as your achievement in terms of management or relevance to your being good in academics as well as co-curriculars is very important in your first paragraph. Now, as you go further in the second and third paragraph, you can further jot it down and can utilize certain sample SOPs which are easily available over Google to make sure how you can comprehend your life better, and then actually take your UG pointers, your position of responsibilities, or if you have workex, on how to map them further for your SOP. And make sure you have a very nice and good ending to your SOP, because your ending is something which makes a lasting impression on the faculty or the person who is reading your SOP. And I'll be, as I said, I'll be sharing my SOP's last paragraph as it is with you in the end of the video with some bonus tips. So please stay tuned till the last of the video. Now, back to the interview experience part, I have noted some bullet pointers that what were asked in my interview experience, and I'll be sharing them as it is. Now, number one thing which I would like to highlight is, as I said, this was my first time in Mumbai. Obviously, it was my first time in the NMIMS campus. And let me say you, this NMIMS building almost in the heart of the city, it is so huge. And when you go to those 7 to 8 floors and you have this transparent lift, this is a awe type of experience which will actually mesmerize you. So I would recommend you that when you're going for this interview experience, please take these memories back with you. Captures as many photographs or videos as much as you can, because this is going to be your first interview experience and this is always going to be a lasting impression no matter what. Now, in this interview, what I need to highlight is this was my first interview which was AI based interview. Now, what does that mean? AI is everywhere, but this was the first and only interview where I actually saw that AI was counting into the picture when I was giving my answers. So basically, the structure of the interview was such that I was sitting in front of the professor, and in between there was a laptop based AI program or the chatbot they had created. And when I was being asked questions, I was asked those questions directly by the AI chatbot itself, and the laptop was recording my answers, and this AI bot was utilizing my answer, summarizing it and telling it again, and then briefly it was becoming a point where it was utilizing these information to ask me the secondary or the tertiary questions. And hence you can understand that now you are using generative AI, hence whatever you answer, it can't go unnoticed. As a human, a teacher might miss out on few aspects of the details, though it is very unlikely, but here AI makes sure there is 0% error. When you give an answer, you have to be mindful that whatever you are saying, if a follow-up question is based on that you are answering the same. And this is one of the bonus interview tip, guys. Please make sure that when you are giving your answer, let's say from the first question itself, if an introduction question is asked to you about introducing yourself, make sure you tell about only relevant pointers or certifications or PORs which you would like to the other person, that is faculty or the AI chatbot in this particular case, that they want to ask you about that. If you are having no clue about the certification or something which you don't want to speak about, please do not brag about it, because if your secondary question is built upon that, then my friends, that will screw your interview and you don't want that, right? Now I'll quickly deep dive as per the timestamps into the number of questions and as the bullet point questions which were asked to me. So obviously I was asked to introduce myself, and I was able to cover all these aspects which I told this now. I introduced myself in certain manner that I wanted certain questions to be asked. For example, in my introduction, I told about how my school experience as a two-time house council member and as a head boy was my first taste of management with my academics, and how it interplayed in my future years in my UG as well. So when I spoke about these particular things, my questions, my follow-up questions were also built upon that. And hence, when you introduce yourself, make sure that you are utilizing this opportunity to give as much management kind of pointers as you can give to the person who's asking you these questions. Now, bonus tip number 2. Most, in fact 90% of my interview was based on my SOP. I'm not saying that it is going to be 100% same this year or for any other college as well, but if certain college has taken statement of purpose from you, that means that that college is actually very likely to understand your keen self, and they want to know you in depth, and they're going to ask you questions based on your SOP. Many people make this mistake, they do not read their SOPs and go. Please do not make this mistake. You have to make sure that you're reading your SOP thoroughly, and your questions will be going to be based on that. Because my school related questions, school POR and UG POR, and my questions which were depending on the challenging subjects which I wrote about my SOP, these were directly asked to me by my SOP. Now moving on to some certain set of questions from my UG that were asked to me. So I am a ECE engineer from VIT Vellore main campus. So few questions revolved around my ECE subject. So I would highly recommend you to brush up 1 or 2 subjects from your ECE, and you can actually tell them that interview that these were my favorite subjects, so that your interview is dry based on that. For example, one of the specific questions which were asked to me was on microcontrollers, because I mentioned in my introduction that this was one of my subject which interested me. So the question which was asked to me was like, how did microcontrollers help me in understanding certain different subjects, as well as how it is relevant in my work experience. At that point of time, I was also working in Deloitte as an analyst, and then further I became a consultant. So how my microcontroller subject lead and interlink to my Deloitte journey, I had to connect that question with that. So how I did that was, microcontroller, if you are an ECE person, or if you are not for that matter, it's a subject where you have to highly understand about the basic programming skills, and that's the first programming taste that you get as a ECE engineer. So I linked it with the programming languages which I had to learn later, how it interplayed a crucial role in approaching these dynamics, approaching the tough concepts of programming, and understanding how programming actually works, programming the clock, 8085, 8086 microcontroller, how those pins work. This actually helped me in understanding how the programming aspects of the world would work. So I related that accordingly, and I also related to the consulting aspect of my particular Deloitte experience projects. So I would like to, again, I reiterate to you, the first advice that I gave you in the starting of the video was, take these 2 pages and write your heart down. So also mention about the subjects that you liked and how you could interlink it in future, so that these are playing a crucial role in your answers. How the journey shapes you is something which a teacher is really interested in knowing, and hence please do not miss out on this opportunity and justify it as better as you can whenever you can. Now I'll go to the few other questions that were asked to me. Apart from my school introduction as well as UG experience, I was asked about why particularly NMIMS. Now this is one question you need to make sure you're preparing and going. You can't go there and say ki NMIMS is my backup option or something like that. Obviously everyone prepares for CAT, and sometimes SNAP, NMET is our secondary options, which actually becomes our best possible call. But then NMET and Narsi Munjil itself, these are having a legacy of their own. You can actually go down and see on Google, Quora as well, that how many CEOs or how many good alumni are coming out of these colleges and are sitting at CXO level positions. And when you talk about these C-suits, you can actually relate to them and can tell them about how these dream personalities, dream alumni shape your dream journey of MBA. You can actually mold this answer however way you want, but please ensure that you're going thoroughly over the Narsi Munji's website, how their fest, culture works, because if you're not focusing on these aspects, you'll not be able to justify your best possible call, which is happening number one when it comes to 2026 interview experiences. Then you need to know one more thing. So since I was having consulting background, it was obvious that I mentioned about how my future targets or aspects look like. My interest is going towards strategy consulting, but then I need to know which are the top companies which are actually visiting that Narsi Munji campus, because I was asked this particular question, that which are the dream companies you're looking forward to. Now Accenture Strategy and BCG at that point of times placement report are the companies which are visiting the campus. But if I fail to mention these companies, and if I take some other names which are actually not in their placement report from the last 2 years, what does this reflect? This reflects that the person sitting in front of you, he has not done his or her homework, and you do not want that, right? You want that the particular person to know and make sure that you have done your homework thoroughly in terms of looking at the brochure, looking at the placement report of the college as well. So these were the few questions which I was asked for. And in last, I was also asked about my interest in finance. Now this could be because the faculty could have been from the finance area. So basically every answer that I was giving, AI was restructuring, taking and summarizing it, and then asking me follow-up questions. But after a point of time, the last 2 questions, the AI chatbot stopped, so closed the laptop, and he asked the questions himself. So he was also actually listening closely to the answers that I was giving, and then he asked me particularly about finance area. So what you need to know is what are the MBA specializations you're looking forward to, and you can definitely be asked about the specialization questions that exists. And now, as I promised, this is the last phase of this video where I'll be sharing about my statement of purpose, as it is the last paragraph which I wrote. So after, as I told, the structure of the SOP I've already discussed in the starting of the video, and last I ended with something like this. So while my work was praised in Deloitte through 3 applause awards, I realized that business involves a wide spectrum of domains requiring expertise in multiple skill sets. I aspire to transition from technical consulting to strategy consulting and become a seasoned and adept leader as navigating complex challenges and providing innovative solutions to the clients. So I was basically, this was a part where I was done with my school, UG, POR level responsibilities. In the last paragraph, I was shaping my answer from that perspective, the Deloitte work perspective, and what are the roles I'm looking forward to, what could be the domains in the MBA I was looking forward to, and how it would help me. So this could be a good way on how you can end the SOP. Also, one of the lines which I wrote was, NMIMS with its vision for excellence is the ideal institution to propel me towards these aspirations. So you are basically justifying NMIMS vision. So please put the institute's vision, mission, core values wherever possible, not only in your SOP but in your answers as well. This reflects not only your homework but as to how you relate to the values and culture of that particular institution, and trust me friends, it goes a long way. Finally, I wrote that the esteemed faculty, eclectic environment, and the Value Fest and Fury excite me the most, and I can say with firm conviction that I'll be a strong representation of all these qualities when I become a part of NMIMS. So when you write an answer or end your paragraph of your SOP like this, it shows a lot of conviction and confidence as to how you would like to be part of that particular institution, and through small elements like where I mentioned the vision, the values, and even about the fest of the college reflects that how involved you are already in the culture of that particular college. And trust me, every step that you make, guys, goes a long way. Now I know I was speaking too fast. I tried to cover a lot of things, but I'm genuinely telling that this was a raw candid video coming directly from the bullet pointers and the SOP that I made last year. If you have further questions, please feel free to drop them in my comment section. There are a lot of interview experiences from IIMs which are going to be coming your way, and a lot of experiences which I'll be sharing myself on how you can improve your SOP, GDPI experience, wet writing experience for that matter. So first, let me know in the comment section that which videos you would like to know first, and hence I will utilize my initial energy in those particular videos, because my life is also getting a very hectic, so I'm trying to juggle a lot of things. And plus, trust me, I'm very happy to be back. This is one particular hobby which I really enjoy, because this is one particular platform where I'm able to share my thoughts candidly, because I learned a lot throughout my interview journey. So I would want you to not make the same mistakes which I or any other creator on YouTube has made. These all videos are just there to guide you and add value to your journey. So please take this in a positive manner. Give us a positive feedback if possible in the comment section on how we can improve or how we can serve you better as the aspirant's journey, and I will try to cover those all the important aspects in my next videos. Finally, please give your 100% and ensure you're converting all the calls that you have. And finally, when you'll have a lot of converted waitlist calls or the calls from the multiple institutions, then we will sit together. You can ask me in the comment section. We'll make a particular videos in that, or you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn as well through my YouTube description, and we'll talk more there. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. I hope you are doing your best, and I'll do my best as the next videos come in. Thank you and take care.